Hi, we're getting ready to start build out of our new van, and we've ordered liners and a floor, and we just bought some lumber that we're going to put on the sides. Those gone after the liner, but in the meantime, while we're waiting for the liner to be delivered, we're going to drill some holes and get these boards fitted to these anchors up on the walls, so we have something to fasten our fixtures to that won't damage the liner. We're getting a pre-cut liner from Legend, which makes liners for commercial vehicles, and that's what we're going to go with on this one, because it's just going to make it nice and neat. And then we get those put in, then we can fit our bed in here and fasten the bicycle in. And so let's get started. This is day 2 and of our van prep work. Yesterday we did some measurements and fitted this top part, which took a little measuring, and we recessed some of these bolts in, make sure they're long enough to go over the paneling when we get it. And today we're going to take care of the rest of these boards, get them all prepped, and get some sealer on them before we have a chance to put them on over the paneling. Fitting them this way will prevent some damage, any kind of damage to the paneling. Once we get it in, we'll just put the boards back over it. So let's get started. Okay, and there's the morning's work. Got the boards all fastened down, and everything went a little smoother. Had to round out some of the holes, but that's things. And now we take them down and prep them for finishing. So we took the day off yesterday while to clean out the garage a little bit, make room for the liner kit for the truck. And we have an empty pallet, and we have one piece laid down in the truck. And so today is put in the floor and start on the walls. So the flooring goes in 3 pieces, connected with these H-channel. Just hammer them in place. Okay. And the last big piece. Go in here. Yeah, here we are. Okay, we have the walls all unpacked, ready to go. But the next thing we have to do, since there's no holes for where we're having the boards, we have to make some templates. So we can drill holes in the walls for the bolts for the doors. So we're going to do that now. And there we have all of the holes lined up. Now we have to transfer those to the walls. Yep, transfer our templates to the panels and drill the holes for the finally figured out a better template way of using the plugs to start the holes and drill a pilot hole. For the rail screws. And a slightly larger tapered hole for the 8mm bolts. Now that we have the pilots done. And the second wall piece. Okay, and we have one side done. A little bit close up here. One of the things I didn't notice on the other side was these are made for different model years, and so there's different cutouts, so these aren't cut out. I had to cut the other one out after I installed it. So this one we're going to have to cut out for one of the fixtures on the thing. So one more day and we've got the passenger side done, and that's the end. We have the doors yet and the trim on the floor, so we'll get at that. Okay, one of the last steps on the floor is to put in the sides. We also have cutouts for the light fixtures in the roof, and so we've used our handy little cutting tool here and cut through, and we're ready to punch that out. Good morning. Yet another day in the saga of outfitting the van. Yesterday we tried to get the roof liner in, discovered it was a little big, cut it down, discovered it was still a little big, and had to trim some on the sides, and then rain started to come in, so we folded up for the day, and so now we're gonna try again. Well, here we are 2 days later. Finally got the ceiling in, the roof piece. We forgot, because the videos showed one for a shorter van, that we had an extra piece that went on the end that should have been put on before we put the main piece on, and we didn't. So I ended up today finally taking down part of the roof and bracing up the extra piece and put it in, and so we're all set. And of course we have our bed in place and the wall pieces in, and now we're ready to anchor the bed and see about positioning the bicycle, and that's enough for one day. Good morning. It's another day working on the truck, and today is ceiling trim day. We have these pieces, and there's videos on them on how to put them together, but there's no markings on them, and these all have pre-drilled holes in various places that have to be matched up with the roof ribs, and so it's kind of a puzzle to match everything up. But we're going to have at it today. It's a cold day and it's supposed to rain this afternoon, so we'll get started on this right now. Well, as usual, being an amateur truck builder, when we put them together, we find that there are marks on the inside. Tell these how they go together. So, like everything, we do one for practice and one to get it right. Well, as predicted, the rain has started, so we got part of this done today, and we'll have to finish up when the rain stops. So it's taken a long time to get this done, but seems to be worth it. I have a couple more things to do, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Another beautiful day in the truck conversion business. We have one more piece to go in the roof trim, and then we have to do the doors. Okay, so we have our third hand helpers here, some closet rod to hold this in place. And even though these have self-drilling screws, I like to have a pilot hole because they just don't go in where they belong. And you do it by hand. So that was the morning's work, and got this up. Nothing to be done about these where it's bowed in, but that's done up. And the only thing I have left is the door panels, but that can be another session. We've done a morning's work, and then it's lunchtime. Well, good morning. Here we are. Last stretch here, putting in the panels. I think that one needs cut. Back door panels. So door panels are next today, and we're about done with this part of the paneling, and we'll get these in and then work on the getting the bicycle arrangements hung, and then we'll be able to go somewhere. So first thing is to remove the factory panel on the door, which is kind of a scary prospect. And I think to reach the door panel we have to cut out this part here. So we have a little bit of work to do yet, so we'll get started. There we go. Okay, let's get the other door panel lined up. And there we have the back doors all done. Well, it's afternoon, and notice the truck has moved because we took a trip to the big city and loaded up on materials for the bicycle rack and our cabinet. Notice that we completely cleaned out the truck, so it's in cargo mode, and now we're going to unload. Get our cutting schedule, and I think all we'll do today is mark off where to make the cuts, and in the morning we'll cut them up and start assembling. Well, good afternoon. Here we are again. Life is what happens when you're making other plans. Yesterday we had a run to the clinic and then to the hospital, and last night Judy had surgery and she's doing fine, but kind of set our projects back a ways. The other thing that happened is that I have some really old power tools that aren't in the best shape, and some of these cuts didn't come out right, and so I'm down to what's a more relaxing and satisfying cut with my set of Japanese pull saws, which do a really good job of making precise cuts, and that's what we're going to go with today. We have one more support for the shelf that we're shelf or bench, whatever you want to call it, that the bicycle is going to go on, and then this is going to be part of the cabinet that will go up in the front behind the driver's seat. So let's get started with the sawing. And there we go. And nice smooth cut. Okay, we're taking a look at how we can fit everything in. Like I said, it's work in progress. So the cabinet's going to go somewhere over there, and it has to be wide enough to fit what needs to go in there, plus leave enough space for a very long bicycle. So we're still in the work in progress. We have pieces, and we're going to go cut some more from the other sheet to get our shelf, and then we'll see how things work, whether we need to trim or not trim. So we'll see you in a bit. Putting the final touches on the bicycle bench. Should put it right in place. And there it is. Ready to go. Yeah, that's an afternoon's work. But just one last thing before we knock off for the day is because all of these fixtures are going to be removable, so we can clean out or haul cargo, we have to have some attaching mechanism. So what we've done here is put a turnbuckle and an eye to the D-rings that are original manufacturer's equipment, and so this holds it in good and tight. And that's the end of this day's. Hi, good afternoon. Today we're doing the cabinet layouts. We moved up on the porch, a little more convenient to work in, but we're also out in the yard. We have the bicycle bench and various pieces of wood, some salvaged from the platform and some not, and our tools. And we're working on the sides of the cabinet, laying out the shelving and things, getting ready to measure for the width. So that's going to about do it for this day. And through with the shelf supports, and we're ready to fitting the measuring and fitting the shelves. So a little later in the afternoon, we have things test fit together and made sure everything fits. So that sets the shelf width, and so we've cut the strip off the shelf. Now it's just a matter of cutting those to depth so we have the right width on them. Well, there's the cabinet ready to fit into the truck. We've been cutting all morning, and that's what we have left, enough to make the front doors and the lower half. And we're going to go fit this into the truck now since we're done cutting. Okay, we have everything put back in the van, and this time the cabinet is at least blocked out, and the curtain goes behind, just fits. And we have the doors to do and the desktop that folds down to go next, and I think it's going to work for us. We have to do anchors. We've got the D-ring in the back, and everything's fastened in except that. Now we have to work on the bicycle attachments. And so we've come to the end of another day of van building. Little wood cutting, little fitting, putting hinges in, and we're just about ready to go here. There. Just a few more things to do. We're done with this part, and we still have bike hangers to go. That's for yet another day. Good morning. We're gonna wrap this video up today, even though we're not finished yet. But we have the rough out kind of in place and get some usability here. This has not been the kind of usual van conversion you see on the YouTube. With the fancy live-in type of places. One of the reasons is that I'm a software engineer, and software engineering basically works a lot on rapid prototyping, which means you have a problem to be solved, you have an idea for a solution, and you quickly put it together and see what it looks like, see if you can live with that, and then you flesh it out and put some finishing touches on it and safety and so forth. And that's kind of what we've done here. This is actually van conversion Mark III Mod 1. We did the previous two episodes with our old van. We first had a fold-up platform, and it didn't give us any place to sit in the back of the van, and so we made this slide-out bed as the second version, and that works really well, and we kept that. So for this van with the high roof, we decided we needed to have the bicycle up further, so we didn't want to hit our head on the handlebars and have pedals poking us in the hip when you're sleeping on the bed. And so we built this platform, and today is making some little modules to raise the bike up because it's not high enough. So we have a little something here that we can put the wheels in on either end, and got some buckles that came today to make some straps with our strapping that we had from the days when Judy used to make hand-woven purses and quilted purses. So we've used a lot of material from previous projects and things we had from other things we do, much as one builds a software system from components. We bought the van paneling for the ceiling and the walls and the floor pre-made because that was convenient and it met our needs. And the rest of it we just made up as we go along. And so we'll have another video. We're going to complete this today, get the bike in here so we can see what it's like. And but then we'll have a follow-on video when we have it all kind of prettied up as much as we do, because we're not going to live in it and we're not going to show it off a lot. But it's going to be a practical solution to travel with our bicycle and camping where we can. This new age of the pandemic, where we're less likely to stay in short-term housing, travel, motels, and so forth. It's just a new age, and we're approaching this, making it up as we go along, as we do. So we'll get started on the rest of this, and we'll show you the result and finish this off today, and then we'll come in with part 2 down the road. So, after a couple of mistrial here and redo, we have got the bike in. Always make one to throw away. In this case, we made a couple of brackets that didn't work out and modified them so they did work. So let's take a little tour, and then we're done with this this part of the build. So there we have the bicycle. Don't have the permanent straps on, it's held down with bungee cords, but we have, and we'll have to cut these brackets down and fasten them permanently. And we have the cabinet. Light on the subject here, and so this now stays closed. So we have a little hook on the bottom, and that should take care of most of it. And little more stabilization on the bike and some padding, and we're done with that. So the next time we come around, we'll have all of this pretty much done permanently, and we'll see you out on the trail.